Hey you guys, it's the Psycho Power Ranger once again, and I'm here to bring you my thoughts on the Ahri patch preview. Now what could these changes be doing for you, you may be asking? Well, I'm here to tell you. There are actually some pretty huge changes in this, and I'm going to be breaking them down for you so that you can better understand what this is going to be doing to certain champions, and the silent nerfs and buffs that they've been doing. So let's go ahead and get started, my friends. Here we go.
We're making two small changes to Twisted Fate. We're increasing his base attack range and making the player manually acquire targets once he locks a card. What are we hoping to do with these changes?
One of the things we really wanted to do is improve Twisted Fate's laning consistency and ability to trade with other people in lane, which is poor right now. Not only can Twisted Fate now trade more effectively with other auto attackers since he has a similar range, Pick a Card now has similar range to spells as well. This lets him trade with characters like Annie or not come out in unfavorable or completely unsafe positions when laning against a multitude of characters. The manual acquisition of Pick a Card is a quality of life change. A lot of TF players express frustration with gold card would come up and then accidentally fire against a target you didn't intend to. This will make it so TF really has control over the targets he picks, and he has to choose the most effective target as opposed to accidentally firing it at the wrong target due to fate or weird circumstances.
So there's the first big change that they're making. Let me go ahead and boil it down just a little bit more than Morello did. If you noticed, Twisted Fate has been slowly declining on his use. One of the biggest reasons is because the range of a lot of his other 80 counterparts were starting to outzone him. There's no real reason to play him when there's sorts of all other characters that you could play that could do a better job. This range increase should really help him out in the long run. And you'd even see him sometimes go AP, and though I'm not an avid Twisted Fate player, I could only understand that the reasoning would be because of his lack of range to face other enemies, so he'd have to use his card to do his fighting. Okay, so exactly what they're going to do with Pick a Card is this. When you use the skill, you'll then have to click on an enemy to be able to use it again. So no longer will you use the skill and then randomly hit a minion or randomly hit a champion just because your auto attacks force you to do this. What this means for Twisted Fate players is now they can hit what they want. This is amazing. It's just really helpful to be able to use your skills to their advantage, to what they're supposed to be able to do. It's really crummy to have that feeling of, oh, I just wasted my skill when there's nothing you could really do about it. On a side note, I really wish they'd add some sort of toggle into the options menu to be able to turn on and off auto attacks. What I mean by this is if you are attacking a minion and then you finish off that minion, and you're close enough to another minion, you'll start attacking that minion or champion. I don't like that. I wish there was a way that in the toggle menu, you could turn that off, so if you click on a minion, you'll auto-attack that minion. But once that minion is finished off, you won't auto-attack another one. This would be an amazing feat for League of Legends. Let's roll on to that next clip.
We're nerfing the healing per stack on Tryndamere's Bloodlust. Why are we nerfing Tryndamere?
It's almost impossible to push Tryndamere out of lane when he's doing well. This is because the heal for how much rage he has is very high. This means when Tryndamere is in there dominating his lane, getting tons of hits on the enemy, crushing lots of minions, his rage is always full and he's healing for a ton. This doesn't leave a lot of counterplay options to the enemy laner. Conversely, we haven't touched the base level heal, which also means that if Tryndamere does have a bad lane, he can go ahead and still survive in that lane and try to make a comeback and do some counterplay on his own.
Alright, come on guys. Even if you are a Tryndamere player, and even if this makes you upset, let's be honest. Tryndamere was a little bit overpowered, and he could use this nerf. This nerf is pretty self-explanatory. Tryndamere can heal boatloads of health with this heal. What this nerf is aiming to do is to drop that heal by a little bit. A Tryndamere top is so hard to counter, it isn't even funny if the player knows what he's doing. They're trying to even that playing ground off a little bit, because a Tryndamere once at level 6 is almost unstoppable in the right hands. They're keeping the base level heal the same, which means at the lower levels this will be extremely helpful still. You won't be able to catapult like you used to be able to, but you'll still be able to hold yourself there. I don't think that this nerf is going to ruin Tryndamere at all. I mean, everybody was really sad when they changed him over to the Fury, but he's still an amazing champion. It's the same thing. You can't ruin Tryndamere with that ult. Next clip.
We're replacing the Perseverance Mastery in the utility tree with Strength of Spirit, which converts maximum mana into bonus health regeneration. Why are we making this change?
Since Perseverance works on total base percentage of health regeneration, it really wasn't usable in most cases except in very abusive cases. Furthermore, Strength of Spirit was a really fun old mastery. We thought it added a lot of cool item choices and a lot of different ways you could build your character based on having this mastery, so we wanted to put it back in the game and reintroduce those options. The utility tree's been underappreciated since we've done the new masteries as well, so we wanted to use this as an opportunity to put some good buffs deep into that tree.
Okay, so Perseverance. What does it exactly do? Rank 1, it gives you increased mana and health regen of 3%, then 6% at rank 2, and 9% at rank 3. This wouldn't be helpful for most any champion, but those who have a regen stat of their own. They used Singed as the best example, because Singed gained so much from this, but it wasn't very helpful for most any other champion. To those who are new to the game, or those who didn't pay attention to the skill in general, Strength of Spirit was an amazing perk for the tree. It increased your health regen by how much mana you had, respectively going 0.33%, 0.66%, 1% per mana. What did this mean exactly to you? For every 1,000 mana you got another 10 health per 5 to your champion. This is a really cool perk, and I'm glad they're bringing it back, though it's going to be a little bit further down the tree than it used to be. Will this make the utility tree as useful? Probably not as useful as defense and offense, but this might be the first of many steps to make the utility tree a little bit better for itself. Let's go to that next clip.
We are introducing a lot of new runes in the new patch to replace the dodge runes that we're removing and refunding in the near future. These new runes have stats like hybrid armor and magic penetration, gold over time seals, bonus percentage health, lifesteal, and spell vamp. What are the goals with these new runes?
Simply put, the first reason is new runes are cool and make more options for players. Players like to experiment with crazy builds, find their own niche of the way they like to build champions, and new runes just allow you to do that better. Percent health runes are a natural fit on champions who have health that they get from abilities or other statistics that scale on health. For example, Cho'Gath with his feast is really good with this, Vladimir with his passive is very good, as well as Volibear who has a health scaling ability. We think this will give some new build options for those champions.
As you can see, there's a health percentage rune coming out. This one's pretty self-explanatory, and he explains this one really well, so there isn't much I need to say about it. All I can say is that they've been silently buffing Vlad a lot recently, and I'm really excited about it because Vlad's one of my favorite AP carries. I think his new rune page will definitely be sporting some of these runes, depending on how good the percentage is.
Hybrid penetration runes are something that not only fans have been asking for a while, but also really gives that kind of like, oh, do I build armor or magic pen on characters like Akali or Jax or Kayle or other champions who scale on both magic and physical damage? For these hybrid characters, these new runes will give you more total penetration than alternating magic and armor penetration runes would on their own.
It's about time, Riot. Like, seriously, these runes should have been out a year ago. Seriously. There isn't much else to talk about these runes either. The runes really aren't a big thing to talk about in the first place. These runes will combine both magic pen and armor pen to be able to properly support a hybrid like they need to be. I do see most hybrids using these. Even champions, maybe even like Skarner, I'm definitely going to try them out on. There's all sorts of champions that are worth trying these out on just to give a little feel for them, and I definitely think they're going to be a staple in most high-level summoners runebook.
I wanted to talk for a second about the new lifesteal and spell vamp quintessences. Even though we've been reducing some of the amount of sustain in our game through our support changes and other such adjustments we've been doing, lifesteal and spell vamp are in kind of a different category. The reason for this is because they require some risk or some opportunity costs in order to get the sustain back. So, for example, to use lifesteal, you have to start auto-attacking more than you normally would, or you have to engage with other champions. This makes for some interesting decisions on these champions, as opposed to them just passively getting health back.
And finally, and my favorite addition to the runes, lifesteal and spell vamp. This will change all sorts of things for the jungle, though in the state of the jungle, there isn't any real reason to have lifesteal and spell vamp, but hopefully they change it back and make it a little bit more tough and make it a little bit more rewarding than it is right now. However, I am throwing it out there that this may push some champions into the ability to jungle well. Some champions might just need that small amount of sustain in the jungle to be able to do what they need to do be able to do those great things. This could change a lot for jungle champions. As for other champions, this will be extremely helpful for very good poke champions. They'll be able to sustain themselves even higher. Although there is a fear that certain champions that have already built in lifesteal and spell vamp will just have huge amounts early game. It'll make it really tough to hurt them. I do worry about champions like Morgana, Sion, and even Vlad might get too powerful with this. Though, like I said, I'm biased and I love a powerful Vlad. So there's another silent buff for him. This is a very sketchy one, and it might make some champions even more overpowered or just overpowered in general. Just keep a lookout for those because they're coming. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it that like. It really helps me out. Leave a comment in the bottom if you thought this video was pretty cool, or that you want to say I'm sweet, or that you just don't like me, or you know, whatever you'd like to say. I'd like to know your opinions. Go ahead and favorite this video if you like my ideas on League of Legends, or just want to be my best friend. Finally, if you like all the things I do on this channel, or just one of those things and you just like it that much that you tolerate the rest of my videos, go ahead and do that subscription so that you can, get to watch more of my videos. And it would also make me happy. I did lose a subscriber today, and my heart sank. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Take it easy.